many when me Tyrantus was alive.
They're not exactly...
There's still a few. They just like to live underground now.
Me liked them. Me gave them voice. Me
There's
helped
some...
them speak and think.
We could lead you to more of them.
Me would like to see more, but first me kill Hellstar.
All right.
I don't know exactly where that is besides hearsay.
Well, there are still a lot of things around this island, around here that you could fight. But let things kind of help you get ready for the Hellstar.
Ready? You mean Hellstar not here? Not here yet?
Not yet. Not yet. But there's still plenty of things you could fight. Believe you me.
Then you could take me to tiny friends, and me could raise them into army.
Yeah, we can definitely do that, big guy.
Yes! And then with army, we crush Hellstar, find more kaiju, save forests.
I have a question, actually.
Yes.
You mentioned giving them speech. Are you familiar with someone by the name of... And then I generate a series of vibrations and hisses that translates into Snake Mom's given name.
Yes, me sleep in dream and shadow and substance, and me find one with that name, long and coiling. And me tell that one secret of speech and thought, like one's before it and one's after. And it awakened to new style of thought and thinking.
Awesome.
That's how me, Tyrantus, make more guardians. Make worlds safe even in death.
Cool. You know my mom.
Ooh, she your mom?
Yeah.
Wow. Me, Tyrantus, never would have guessed.
I'm sure the family resemblance is there somewhere.
That explains why you come to find Tyrantus. Me thought it would be something different. But me, Tyrantus, like this. This good. Well, show me Tyrantus to Dinosaur. Or Little Ones, whatever the fuck I call them.
They're they're just overhead. Just gotta...
Let's go, big guy.
And he looks up the hole and is like, me Tyrantus not sure if me going to fit.
There's a way up over here. Kind of show him towards the staircase.
Yeah, me Tyrantus not sure me going to fit is the thing.
Do you think maybe the water would lead you to a path to it?
I could, and leave it to me. I use stone chip kind of to widen in the staircase and kind of make it into a ramp for him.
That big? I don't think so.
The spell doesn't allow for that. I believe they probably left the water path for him down here when they were constructing the temple, so he would have a way out.
That makes sense.
That makes sense.
So you think me Tyrantus could do swim thing again?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's probably.
Alright, we see you up top. You use stairs. We meet up different paths. And he drops off and like dives into a lake, into an underground lake, and swims up. I assume you guys go up to the surface. When you do, shortly after, you see him emerge from a river that intersects with the shrublands. When he emerges from the river, all the lizard folk in the village down below cheer and raise spears and other weapons. singing in Draconic and jubilation at the fact that their savior has returned. And congratulations. You guys have just helped awaken a gigantic primordial kaiju bent on protecting the natural world from civilization. And also, like, other extinction events. But yeah.
He seemed nice.
Yeah, he did.
But most importantly, you get your animals back.
And my egg.
Do you get your egg?
Yeah, we kind of.
Yeah, okay. So you guys return to the village. We got some stuff to wrap up here before we end. The lizard folk are preparing a huge fucking meat banquet for Tyrantus and like lavishing him with gifts, and he's enjoying it. He's not entirely aware of why, but he's enjoying it. He's a humble one, this monster. But there are some that you can ask around about the big blue dragon egg.
I immediately do like basically asking every single person I come across, where is my egg? And I'm not going to stop looking at asking until I find it.
And most of them brush you off with, you're a mammal? And then walk away. Finally, the scraggly one is like, okay, I talked to the fisherman, and you said that your egg is a blue dragon egg,
Yes.
as opposed to literally your egg, but rather an egg from a blue dragon that you claim ownership of.
He's adopted, all right?
Well, we did find such a thing in one of the carriages, and we have put it in the nursery. We can give it to you if you would like.
Yes.
All right. Here you go. And you're giving back the egg.
Now, hold on. Is there anything about nursing this egg that we should know about that you might have a better idea of than us?
Oh, yes. Well, blue dragons like to lay their eggs in sand. Or like to, I guess, since they're all extinct now.
It needs to be warm. It needs to be warm. Very warm.
It needs to be warm. They also often incubate their eggs with electricity, so every now and then it might be good to give it a good old shocking bolt. And that's about as much as we know. None of us have actually incubated a blue dragon egg ourselves. We're relying on some of our lizard folk texts here.
By the way, where should I put this? And I take the chief's headdress out of my pack.
Yeah, I thought you guys coming out of that pyramid after Tyrantus came out probably meant he's dead, huh? Yeah, I'll take that. We can figure out new leadership later once everyone's done celebrating. It's going to be kind of a downer to bring it up right now.
He went down honorably.
Yeah.
He died because of his sacrifice. Because of his sacrifice, Tyrantus is now alive. Is now alive again.
We'll finally be able to crush the world of men and take back the land that's rightfully ours.
Say what now?
Oh God!
Well, yes, we've been driven to near extinction. Most of our homelands have been taken over. Even those of us who moved to areas that are inhospitable were eventually wiped out. So, this is sort of a last-ditch effort. We were going to try and raise one of our primordial demigods. Took decades and generations of work to just figure out where the essence of the demigods might be relocating, and much more to cultivate it and find a way to get them to take corporeal form again, but we finally managed. And now that we've got Tyrantus back, and hopefully the other tribes are doing their best to get the other kaiju back as well, we'll let them lead us to victory, and they'll see the surface world and say, oh, holy shit, this went exactly as badly as we thought. And they'll crush a bunch of towers and towns, and nature will take back part of the world again.
Part?
We don't need all of it. Like some species.
Well,
We will be a way to move some.
Tyrant just seems like a nice guy. I'm sure we can figure this out.
Well, he's a very nice guy. From what our texts say, he is the most heroic and kind-hearted of the demigods. But he will be disturbed when he sees the state of the surface. as all of us are.
So the first thing that he said when he told us was that he didn't want anyone to die for him. No, he wanted no one else. He wanted and no one to ever have to die for him again.
Yes, and
I don't
luckily
think he's
we
going
won't
to
have
take
to
too
die
well
for
to.
him anymore.
I don't really think it's going to take very well to the idea of killing more.
Tyrantus is kind-hearted and compassionate. He does not kill without cause. But he is a warrior. He is a guardian, a sentinel, a protector of the natural world, and the natural world has been ravaged. So much so that the Hellstar is coming to end all life on this planet.
The Hellstar. Can you tell us more about this?
It
Yes.
is a herald of disaster. Lelia interjects. It
Yeah,
goes
oh,
to
you are somewhat aware. Yes, it's part of the extinction god, one of his minions. The stars are very clear on this, as are the benefactors. When the Hellstar awakens, planets will die. Planets that have been selected because of their inhabitants' avarice and cruelty for extinction. And the Hellstar is awakening.
Well, we've been trying our best to make sure that it goes back. It goes back to
Was
sleep.
the Hellstar the great threat that Gothcliff told us of?
I am not particularly familiar with Gotham's worship, but I would imagine that is probably what she is fearful of. This is not the first time the Hellstar has awoken. There was one time several years ago, there was a second beast that was tied to it. One considered one the lock and the other the key.
Could you describe it? Could you tell us more about this beast?
The tribe that lived here back then has scant records. They originally lived on the entire island until they were driven out by the humans who killed the second beast. Those that remain don't have much word of it. They say it boggles the mind. It keeps you from firm remembrance.
Conquered worm.
Does it have anything to do with the island's name?
What is the island's name in the human tongue?
Conquered worm.
Perhaps. I do know that when the beast was slain by the humans, they made quite a great big celebration of it, and that's when they decided to drive the rest of us out, and thus when we decided to go under. Or rather, the lizard folk who are native here. Most of us are here on pilgrimage.
Now, you say the lock and key. Are the two beasts needed to get the Hellstar and possibly the worm needed together to end the world?
Yes. When the worm awakens, the Hellstar will be drawn to this planet. If the worm is not slain before the Hellstar arrives, the planet is doomed. The benefactors have been very clear on that this is how it works.
I see.
conquer. A love who conquers.
So Tarantus might have to fight that. Might have to fight the conquering worm.
Oh, many will have to fight the beast, if you want to call it the conquering worm. That does have a nice ring to it, I suppose.
We've been getting a pretty damn good number of reinforcements. We've already. Well, man.
It took legions according to legend, it took legions to defeat the beast the first time, and not just of men, but of lizard folk. And even then, in the end, it took a select crew of powerful heroes of myth. The demigod can substitute for an army, but I do not know if it counts as a hero of valor.
Hmm. Here's the
Nonetheless,
thing.
it is our greatest hope of destroying the worm,
We
and our
can
greatest hope of taking back our home.
we can get more
Your
reinforcement.
negotiation.
Question: do you know? No. We found a large number of dragons on this island. Do you know about this? Like where any of them might be?
No, I'm not native here. I came only a few weeks prior. I had to hide in human armor. It was quite embarrassing.
Hmm.
The others probably won't know very well either. Those that are native to the island rarely go above ground.
Hmm.
That or work in hotels.
Question. We've been around the island. A lot of things have changed since the last time, since the lizard folk have been driven below.
I imagine so. It is said that the conquered worm,
Mhm.
it's said that prior to its awakening, and also prior to the coming of the Hellstar, events and omens are portrayed. Evil begins to rise, chaos is sown. I imagine on the surface, the island is torn with various different points of strife. While
It
they may
is.
not be directly caused by the creature, its presence is inviting them.
We've actually been doing a pretty decent job at stopping all of that. And I meant more the fact that up on top, humans and non-humans are starting to get along.
Yes, maybe that's true for non-humans that look very, very similar to a human, marked
Now
only by their
kobolds
horns.
as well.
Kobolds, vampires, skeletons, dragons, pseudo dragon relatives, nagas, fish people.
I have lived above ground, as have most of the people in this village. Not on this island, but on others. I don't think you will find many stories where we are treated the way your fellow creatures are being treated.
So because of something that happened in the past, you're not going to even try.
Howard, you wanted to step into this negotiation too, didn't you? I thought I heard you try to interject at one point.
I did too, but
Lately, I can take a shot. I don't know really what to say at this time.
Okay.
such tensions run deep. Change it overnight, no matter how hard you try, lest situations above between all the races would have been solved immediately hundreds of years ago.
There's nothing saying you can't start.
Yes, and you can try to start now, but I assume people have tried before, and that did not
Lizard
work.
folk, you are correct. We lizard folk have tried several times to solve this dispute peacefully. And while there have been minor victories, the overall history of our people is being driven further and further to uninhabitable places until we are on the brink of extinction. The simple fact that history has taught us is that we do not have the force to make sure that we are treated correctly. Tyrantus gives us the power and the force that we need. If humanity will be willing to listen, now that they know that there could be a bad outcome if they don't, we would be willing to solve this peacefully. But in our history, without the threat of force, we have never achieved victory.
Well, it makes you feel better when all this is over. It is over, and that not if, When? I will personally try to help you with this. People shouldn't be. What happened to you wasn't right. People shouldn't. I'm not gonna let this happen. I will try. I'll try everything in my power. Or to help you. It's not much, but it's still something, I guess.
You are good mammals. It would be wrong to hurt you. I hope you succeed in your quest. And I will try to help my people be open to discussion of this issue when the worm is defeated and the world is saved.
Perhaps if the world sees Tyrantus helping champion the world's salvation, that'll help open discussion.
Perhaps. Perhaps we could make a show of it. Lizard folk and mammal, demigod and heroes, saving the world together. It would be nice if that worked out, and the world learned from such a show. I admire your optimism. I hope your ideals prove true in the end.
In our line of work, buddy, optimism is the only thing keeping you sane.
He nods. Well, I'm gonna go hide this before people realize that their chief is dead. You guys might want to get your animals and get out.
That's probably a good idea. Where's the exit to this place?
Oh, there are a lot of paths. It's going to be a long trek without a water orb, or some sort of magical spell that allows you to teleport.
Oh, right.
Oh.
Oh.
Oh, I guess we could have done that the entire time.
Oh, right. RPG bullshit.
Yeah, we discovered this place. Now we can fast travel through it.
Actually, it can't. It does not count as one of the towns.
Darn.
We won't be able to say
Yeah.
hi to Tyrantus.
I mean, you will. It's just going to be kind of a trip.
Well, before we leave, or before he leaves, I just want to make sure he knows that their dead are as well prepared as I could do.
Preserved.
Yeah.
He nods and thanks you for your consideration.
Also, since in our help of helping Tyrantus, will our saurian animals start being awakened now?
On the one hand, that'd be really cool. On the other hand, I'd have to roleplay each and every fucking one of them.
Or at least the two major ones that are not mules.
Which ones are those?
Erwin and Diamond.
And not Emerald and Ruby?
They're just mules.
Or Sancho?
Oh, Sancho too. I was just meaning Saurian.
Or Mig?
Wouldn't awakening, like, mess with their...
Yeah, I doubt Sancho or Mig, but...
Yeah, I mentioned that I could awaken a lot of these animals for a time, anytime you wanted. We just decided not to because of the bonuses.
And also
But I
because
was
I have to roleplay each and every one of them. That's a lot of fucking characters to
specifically-
do all the time.
I was meaning specifically Diamond and Erwin. Since they don't have animal companion bonuses, they don't.
I'm
And they're the most developed out of the saurian critters we got.
I love all the animals, and I love the idea of the posse. I'm gonna say no just for my benefit. I'm gonna be selfish here and say no. I do not want to have to roleplay more characters. It's hard enough being like, shit, I love Morty, but how the fuck do I fit him into this plot? And then the same with Buddy. I don't want to double that load or quadruple it or however many animals we're doing. So
If we are
okay,
going
that's
to
fine.
awaken out of the animals, let's do it one at a time. And our when we think it's time, not just dumping it all at
alternatively,
once.
if you guys want to role play your fucking animals, I will awaken them for you.
Ooh. I'll roleplay the big one.
I think Emerald
Right.
and Ruby are kind of happy being.
I like them as just being your sweet, adorable pack raptors.
Who now love two mules?
I got my mule back. I'm so happy.
I didn't get to, because you scared them off, I didn't get to actually show the part where the fact is your mule was stolen by a Jersey Devil. But we scared them off before we could actually have that plot point become relevant, so there we are.
Of course he did.
So your mule was kidnapped by a horny Jersey Devil?
Oh God, it's gonna have you're. Oh God, it's gonna get the dronkies, isn't it?
Well, both of my mules are male, so.
No,
It's
and also
fucking
no.
magic.
Also no to that idea, and finally no.
No.
And P.S. No to that. No. Shame on
Wait,
you.
are Emerald and Ruby female?
If we want them to be.
I think you said they were when I got them.
They have platonic
I kind
love
of
with the
assumed
mules.
all the raptors were female, but you know, I'm not tied to that. So yeah, you guys finally show up back at Uderson. It's nightfall. The Captain Argus is just at the court, and they see you, and they're like, "What the fuck?"
Magic. We ain't gonna explain shit.
Fair enough, yar. And congratulations, you got your animals back, and that's where we'll end for tonight's session.
Yay!
I want to sing for you the deleted song.
Yes.
From tonight's session. Originally, the King's Incantation was different, but then someone else used this song, so there we are. So, he was the king of the lizards, oh, the jungle VIP. He reached the top and had to stop, and that's what's bothering me. I want to see that monster rise up and stroll right into town and stomp on all the humans and burn their towers down. Oh, gargle hiss! I want to see that Tyrantus rule with an iron fist over all of this. And with his roar, folks just like me will finally be free once more. Now don't try to fight us, mammals. We made a deal with you. Just stand aside, enjoy the ride, and we won't come for you. You can't defeat us, mammals. There's nothing you can do. We found the fire that we desire to make our dreams come true. Oh, gargle hiss! I want to see that Tyrantus rule with an iron fist over all of this. And with his roar, wolf just like me will finally be free once more. Yeah. So that was the original song for this arc. I had it planned months ago. This arc also got like as I was like further refining it. Originally, it was going to take a lot longer, but I decided to cut to the chase. Like I trimmed a lot of fat. There wasn't a lot of really good stuff, just kind of convoluted. Made it a sort of one session parter, and I'm happy with that. I thought it worked pretty well. And we got right to the fun part, which is the fact that you guys woke a giant industry-destroying kaiju, which will be very useful in
fucking up the conquered worm's shit.
In fucking up the conquered worm, and then also very problematic in the post game, depending on how things work out.
Oh, don't worry, I've got a plan.
To kill Tyrantus.
That actually raises a concern I had when Tyrantus was revealed.
Yeah.
Because I felt that some of us were acting a bit inconsistent with our characters, almost. Like I felt our players were more acting fanboying as opposed to our characters' actual. Well, for starters, they are abandoning all love of dragons and immediately going to bow to this demi.
Never said ever. The fact,
And
honestly,
the fact
I was
that you
trying.
bowed, and the fact that it just
You
felt
don't-
very out of character. It just came off that way.
First, again, first off, you show respect to beings that Erica isn't stupid. She shows respect to beings that are far more powerful and they're clearly more powerful than her. Same reason.
Really?
Yeah, she's done it before.
Oh.
Yeah. Like first thing I think with Gothcliff bowed. Like,
If it's clearly out of her league, she has done that every single time.
Yeah, and again, giant fire-breathing reptilian monster. This is literally something out of her wildest dreams. The fact, and also, honestly, the fact that the thing with the dragons, she was basically saying that they have gritted teeth.
Yeah, there's a lot of character development this time, and I was feeling that a lot of good progress was made. But when Tyrannus came around, I just felt like I didn't know how to react, as I didn't know. Okay, how do I separate myself from reacting to how she would react?
Yeah.
And I didn't know how you guys were reacting to that too. So, and some of it felt like, oh, the player is reacting, not necessarily their character is reacting.
I got a lot to do. I'm happy.
Yeah.
Eric got to be diplomatic for once.
On
I get what you
Sir
mean,
Kay's
Sir K,
complaint,
about not really knowing how to act.
on Sir Kay's complaint, that's actually it's kind of weird that that ended up because that was actually kind of why I decided to go with Tyrannus instead of Godzilla. Because I figured with Godzilla we'd be pretty wowed at what he is, and if I hit that it was Godzilla this whole time, it would feel disarming and a little bit confusing to have Tyrannus, who ostensibly is roughly the same sort of power threat, but personality-wise is much goofier. So I figured I didn't want you guys kind of to be on your toes and be like, I don't know how to react to this, but I didn't expect a hero worship reaction. That's kind of hilarious to think about.
Well, he's the one who taught my mom to talk.
And he's also, and again, this is Era's kind of got a hard on for this sort of thing.
Whereas I was trying to think for Lelia, this is she just got exposed to something that completely contradicts every scripture she's ever been told.
Yeah.
And
Kaiju
a giant fuck you,
That kaiju or demigods.
They're conventional. They're big old fuck you conventional thought, no matter where they are.
Part of that is parsing lizard folk religious customs, though. Just as kobolds view dragons as semi-divine figures, lizard folk view primal reptiles like dinosaurs as semi-divine figures. And I figured that making kaiju, which are generally portrayed, especially in actual official Pathfinder lore, as these primeval forces of nature, which is straight from the source material, it would be a logical extension that kaiju would be to lizard folk what dragons are to kobolds.
Makes sense to me.
Lizard folk also do canonically have the same sort of demigod worship of dragons as kobolds do. It's just a bit more distant because lizard folk predate dragons. Both in my setting and again in normal Pathfinder and D&D lore, lizard folk are really designed to be this very ancient society that's been driven into extinction. They're often associated with dinosaurs because they're kind of prehistoric. Less of a noble savage and more of a noble caveman. So I really wanted to play with that. They call Tyrannus a demigod. Tyrannus may not literally be a demigod, but he is a creature of comparable power to a full-grown true dragon.
And now I'm just imagining him singing. And now I'm just imagining him singing about planting eels' guts in the ground for coconuts.
It'd be really hard to sing "You're Welcome" with his broken grammar.
What can we say except you're welcome? For
Except
the
you
rocks
welcome. You welcome. You can't say the word.
For islands I drag from sea.
Anyways, was I acting inconsistently? This was my
No,
character so far?
I thought we got some great character moments from everybody, and everyone was acting pretty consistent. And now Mig and Howard won't be so traumatized about their pets.
Yeah, I think this is a good session for everyone. Just the end made me just part of it due to me questioning myself, like, how do I react that isn't, and the other just trying to think.
Honestly,
Look
pretty,
at
pretty
the
well.
other people.
Yeah, like with Lilia, like what you mentioned, and like it completely flips what she's been taught her entire life. It seems like a pretty good reaction. Stunned.
I'm also glad that you guys caught on to the fact that our good pal Tyrantus here is not exactly a perfect win for the good guys. Him waking up.
Yeah.
I liked it. I mean, it was sort of last minute, but I liked that we did get to figuring out that this is definitely a short-term win for you guys because it's a lot of muscle on your side now, but there's going to be some long-term problems.
Yeah, we're gonna need to find a curio shop to try to get some. What the fuck do we do with this?
One thing we didn't get to was an actual religious examination of the lizard folk, and there was actually something interesting you could have gleaned there. The lizard folk don't worship Gotchmore or Gornir; they worship Gandernog, the original dragon god.
That's what I assumed, because he was the primordial beast that was before them that they were splitting in two.
Yeah, and likewise, while dragons are considered the children of, are really more associated with Gornir and Gotchmore. Kaiju and dinosaurs are associated with Gandernog.
Maybe I should change or rewrite. Like, Era doesn't really worship Gotchmore per se. Maybe I should
can't.
like.
The sheet for the gods says we can't worship Gandernog because it was split.
Yeah. Gandernog doesn't, like, with the exception of one temporarily locked island that's different than the island you're on, Gandernog does not exist anymore. You can't really worship Gandernog actively, not in a religious sense. That's why lizard folk don't have clerics and don't have divine magic like healing.
Like not really in a religious sense was what I meant.
Well, didn't Ayara have her own scene where she went to Gotchmore and was like, "I'll be your agent" or something like that?
Yeah.
Sounds pretty direct worship to me.
Yeah, that was Gotchmore, not Gandernog.
Because Gandernog don't exist anymore. But we'll save talking about our characters' religious preferences for the Finding Jesus session, which is still on, even though it's now slightly irrelevant. It's gonna happen. I planned it, and I'm not wasting it. Damn it.
I'd like to do the dragon thing if we can next time.
Yeah, that's next
definitely.
time. That's definitely.
Yep. That's
we have to do that before we go to another town, right? Is that what you said?
Yep. I'm kind of thinking of you guys taking these 3 side quests. This quest, the dragon one, and the mystery side quest, all in a row. And the dragon one being next would be a very nice coda. Once we're done with these side quests, you will have leveled up. Not once for each one, but once you've done all 3. And then we can figure out what town we should tackle next.
Sounds good.
Overall, I enjoyed how this worked out. I enjoyed that we sidestepped any combat with dinosaurs. I planned out to have it in case we did, but I'm a softie. I like the monsters to be helpful instead of bad guys.
Yeah, the only people who fought were the 2 teammates, and that was more to a bait and switch to get her there in the first place.
One little thing that I appreciate about this session is that I got to actually roleplay how Talia's magic works in my head. Not actually casting spells, but just subconsciously causing a magical effect.
I like that, yeah.
Now I have to figure out how Howard will solve racism.
You know, you say that, but that's a joke. But knowing Howard's a passionate penchant for impossible bullshit, I could honestly see him doing that.
You turned into a fucking rock this section.
I don't look, guys. I don't know about you, but like, I'm just imagining the Transformer sound effect when he's doing that. Like, just all of it, his limbs like retracting into the body piece like a turtle shell, and just flopping to the ground.
That was the funniest mental image I've ever had.
And like rock form, activate.
I guess technically he wouldn't be a Transformer so much as a Rock Lord, which was Hasbro's Transformers sort of spin-off toy line.
Yeah, I
Maybe
had
it was
some of those.
GoBots.
Caveman Transformer then?
No,
Like
no,
a
Rock
caveman
Lords.
version of a
No,
Transformer.
Rock Lords were literally robots that turn into rocks.
Yeah, it was just a rock when you transformed it. I had some.
What the fuck?
Yep.
The 80s.
People were like, transforming toys, they'll sell. Let's make something different than the vehicles. We got to make our own transforming toy. I'm pretty sure I'm pretty sure it was GoBots who did it, but it might actually have been a Hasbro brand. It doesn't matter now because Hasbro bought the company that owned GoBots and thus now owns the Rock Lords, which is why a Rock Lord appeared as a giant meteorite monster in Transformers Animated, and it was one of the funniest fucking things ever. You know, I'm gonna TF wiki that right now just to see like what exactly this has of Rock Lords is. But point being, like, as far as toy concepts
Tonka.
go, it was kind of gloriously stupid.
It was Tonka.
Okay, so then it was GoBots.
Yeah.
Yep.
It was a GoBots spinoff.
Yeah, spin-off toy line to the GoBots from Tonka in 1986. After the movie GoBots Battle of the Rock Lords. That's fantastic. I
At
remember
least
having
the
them.
rocks are different shapes, kind of. Sort of.
Let me, you know what? Just because this is funny, here are names of the Rock Lords. There's Nugget with GGIP, Marbles, Pulver Eyes,
Crackpot.
Okay, this actually is a pretty legitimately cool concept. There was a combiner team that turned into fossils.
Okay, now you got me interested.
That's legitimately cool, actually.
Fossil fucking Saurus.
There's Sticks and Stones.
What the fuck?
There's Magmar.
Oh god. And then there were Rockosaurus, which turned into dinosaurs, I'm guessing. That's fucking great.
Terrorox, Spike Stones.
Those go right with Attack Pack for stupid toy ideas that are also glorious toy ideas.
I loved the Attack Pack as a kid.
I did
hell was
too.
that?
Like, I hated playing with vehicles, but I loved the idea of a vehicle secretly being a monster and eating people.
Okay, I have no idea what Attack Pack is, but it sounds awesome. Tell me more.
They're toy
Like, they were-
vehicles that can open up and to feel like mouths and teeth and eyeballs.
One of my
Oh,
favorites was
you
a
have-
McDonald's Attack Pack toy that was like a stealth jet, but you could split it in half to open it up, and it turns out it had like crocodilian jaws and two eyes on like the lower jaw, like the fucking like the Beetlejuice scene.
Yeah.
That one was fucking cool. He
Or
and I
the-
had adventures.
Or the starship with the big bulbous bridge that when you push the thrusters in, the bridge split in half into a giant mouth with an eyeball inside.
Yeah. And then a lot of them, not only did they open up the mouths, but often they'd like lurch out. Like I had a monster truck where when you press the button, the entire truck cab lurches forward like a snake to be a gaping mouth. Attack Pack was fucking rad. It was dumb as hell, but I loved it.
I also had Maggot Mouth, which was a starship that opened up into a giant mouth, snake-like maggots.
Guys, you guys ever heard of Skeleflex?
Yeah, I liked them, but those joints on those wore out super quick.
I've actually still got quite a few. Most of
I
them,
really like the fight scene in this session.
I mean, most of them have been reassembled into giant, have been reassembled into patchwork abominations, but they're still pretty good.
Hey, yeah, Sir Kay, you finally got your fight against a character who wasn't necessarily evil, but just dedicated to a cause that was contrary to your own.
And you finally try to get AR to strip.
That's not my goal. Okay.
That was to get AR to take off her dragon form armor.
Yeah, I know, but the principle is still there.
Not
Yeah,
really.
you see that green jet there? That's the one that I had, and I loved it.
Oh,
God, Attack Pack was the fucking shit.
that is way creepier than I thought in my head.
Yeah, I know, isn't it? It's great.
Just trying to think how. I wonder. Are we going to be the golden ending of this, where it doesn't end in one race, dragons, kaiju, humans genociding everybody else?
I'm going to be absolutely honest with you. The golden ending is a lot easier than you think.
So it's easier than getting a Persona ending.
I would say the best ending in this is as easy to get as the best ending in Persona 5. You just have to be not a dumbass. It's not like Persona 4 where, like, you have to be really, really super specific with your wording if you want to get it right, because if you, like, say one thing wrong, you're fucked. This one is going to be like, yeah, it's pretty obvious which answers I shouldn't choose.
Yeah, that and you have to fucking plot out your daily schedule meticulously to get certain skills, certain things, to get jobs and all that shit.
I mean, I suppose if you're not playing on very easy mode,
So
yeah.
what you're saying is you're a world half full sort of person.
But yeah, like, basically what I'm saying is that so long as you keep in mind, here's what you need to do to get the golden ending in this campaign. Remember every single problem all these various characters that you want to help are facing. Remember that the lizard folk
Humans
have
fucked them
lost
over.
huge swaths of land. Remember that dragons have been devastated and driven to near extinction. Remember that, like, the undead are discontent, or at least the goddess of undead is discontent with how little choice her offspring are given. Remember all the problems these people have, and when you get to the critical moment, and it will be very obvious when the critical moment is, you will be asked how you want to solve, like, what problem you want to solve. And you've got to think of a way to solve everyone's problems at once.
You want us to make a monster island, don't you?
I really shouldn't say more. I might be giving away too much as it is. It's solvable. You just have to think of compassion and try to think of, like, what's at the root of all the problems that we're seeing here.
So far, main thing I'm saying is humans fucking people over.
We can do it. We can figure something out.
What power's human?
Well, and like that's the thing though. Like, we need to have a Red Talon moment soon, which we're going to, because you guys gave me a good hook for that. But like, the humans aren't exactly, like, doing completely fine either. It's not as simple as humans are assholes. As Howard's existence proves, but also several NPCs.
Like Willie?
Yeah, or the fucking the fucking altar boy turned high cleric, or even minor characters like Darla and the waitress.
The stable
Like,
master.
Yeah, the Sable Master, like, there are good humans out there. Shit, if we want to give credit to it, like Buddy, he's not human anymore, but he was, and all that's good in Buddy is all that's human in him. Like, the problem is not humans exist, but there's a problem. Maybe it's not that humans exist, but rather that humans are quite often drawn to the thing that's causing this problem. Like let's think beyond blaming a specific group of people and more thinking of a tendency. Again, probably saying too much. Point being, like right now, if you want to get the best ending and if you want to find a way to solve this in a happily ever after way as much as we can, the big thing I've got to challenge you to do is try and keep in mind everyone who's being screwed over or pushed into some situation that they want to get out of, and what they would need to solve that problem, and what their solutions have in common. And that, hopefully, is all I will need to say.
Okay.
I
But yeah,
have some ideas.
It is possible. Like, if you're worried, like, I don't see a way that we can get the lizard folk their land without killing a bunch of people and having Tyrantus become this horrible monster that destroys humanity. There is a way where you can satisfy the lizard folk, satisfy Tyrantus, and keep human beings safe. The campaign has a way for you to do that. But it's going to involve some empathy and some very clever thinking.
Mm-hmm.
Oh no, empathy.
The fact that apparently normally be the greatest weakness of any adventuring party. Like I'm still kind of half in disbelief when DG said Arrow was like about half as aggressive as most of the players he's worked with.
You are not even a tenth as aggressive as some D&D players.
That's crazy to think about.
I did have more than a few players whose go-to reaction to everything was to literally kill everyone they interacted with, in the most gruesome way possible. Like, I had some people for whom murder really was the best solution to their problems.
Like your Munchkin Gunslinger?
Well, I will give him this. He was a good role player. He just, removed any semblance of conflict from every single fight. And also, like, ended everything before anyone else could do anything, so it's like, oh, that's fun for everybody. We all get to feel like we're a part of this. Which is why I ended up further and further crafting things to make him not as useful as he wanted to be. Other people was shot. Why, when everyone else went into the giant robot and got great buffs from like using the giant robot, he was like, "Wait a minute, this does a lot less damage than I normally do." And I was like, "Oh no!" But it does roughly the same as the insane amount of damage everyone else is doing, so I don't fucking care.
Oh, there is a good question I was going to ask. The machete that Buddy is carrying, you said it's becoming outclassed?
Yeah, like, machetes are a short sword, and short swords kind of short suck.
I'm doing pretty good with them.
That's because you're a thief.
Like, Buddy's got great, like, it does a 1d6 of damage, and while Buddy's got tons of bonuses in addition to that, it's like, man, 1d6 is not nearly as rip-roaring and badass as this needs to be, so I'm thinking we're gonna level Buddy up a bit.
I have an idea. Hear me out.
I just wanted to ask.
We duct tape another machete onto his machete.
Yeah.
That's not how swords.
It's how slasher. Oh, look! Are you really trying to put lots?
Make him dual wield.
I just wanted to ask what he's proficient in. Like, what can I get for him?
Buddy is proficient in. Man, it would be such a game breaker to say everything, but he's Jason Voorhees, so yes, everything.
So every simple and martial weapon with a
Every exotic weapon.
Any weapon?
I honestly like if we're being true to Jason Voorhees, which is Buddy's inspiration.
Yeah, it's like again, it's slasher movie logic. Duct taping machete to machete is so fucking
Like,
stupid. It can just it's
Ed,
gonna work perfectly.
Ed Gein had a chainsaw, which is a super broken as fuck weapon. The form has his own special bullshit, same as the Freddy Krueger knockoff, whose name I haven't settled on yet. I feel like Jason Voorhees' special talent as a slasher, Buddy's special talent as a slasher, is being proficient in everything. He can pick up any weapon and at the very least not have to take a penalty for not knowing it. Anything he picks up, he can make murderous.
Okay, so, and, like, what would be a good enchantment? Because I don't think he'd be able to use what I'm using. Because he might hurt himself with it.
I think... I don't think he needs an enchantment. I think what he needs is someone to go to a priest of Gothcliff, or Gothcliff herself, and ask for an upgrade to the weapon.
Okay.
Or a necromancer. Necromancer could work too.
So,
Right.
get him a weapon, take the weapon that I'm going to give him to the thing, or
once
just...
you give him the better weapon, Buddy, and make it his weapon as opposed to just a weapon he uses. Because Buddy can use a bunch of different weapons, but a slasher's connection to their signature weapon, the weapon that's formed that becomes part of their own ectoplasm, that's special, and he'll always reach for his signature weapon first unless it's destroyed.
Okay.
In which case he has to wait for it to regenerate. So we need to find him a really nice, good, mean weapon, preferably something that deals at least a D10 or a D12 of damage.
A great machete.
And
a
then
2d6.
and then just take it to like a priest of Gothcliff and see if they can make it his weapon.
Yeah, and have them be like, hey, can you commune with Gothcliff and have this become Buddy's new weapon?
I'm not gonna give him the fucking Dragon Slayer. Fuck off.
Yeah, the deal with the Dragon Slayer is, it's just a heap of raw iron. It's only good because the guy who used it killed so much shit with it.
I'll find something, and I'll send it to TT and see what he thinks about it.
I would like that.
In reality, it's really fucking impractical.
I'm just saying, I'm probably going to be abusing Beast Shape and True Strike a lot more.
I've been noticing that.
Speaking of, I actually really do like that we got to see Ayara's tender side in this one.
Yeah.
I like that too.
She got really mad when her baby sister got mildly scratched.
Yeah. Ayara's got history with little sisters and getting hurt.
I like role-playing a bunch of dinosaurs that talk like cavemen.
Yeah,
Leading up
Scorn
to
was
my-
amazing.
Leading up to my favorite dinosaur that talks like a caveman, Tyrantus.
I liked
Except-
Tig's idea to
Go
trip
on.
the people in combat. It was a good idea. It's just that CMB is fucking hard to figure out what to do with it.
Yeah, tripping and bull rushing and all those things, they sound great in theory, but D&D historically has had trouble making them not confusing and not terrible. And Pathfinder, despite not technically being D&D, but also technically being D&D, is no exception. Gotta be better rules for that somewhere in time and space.
Apparently, grapple rules are really awful. Then I got a natural 20 and it went off without a hitch.
Third edition grapple rules were a fucking nightmare. Pathfinder improved upon them with the CMD stuff, but it's still not good. But it's nowhere near as bad as it could have been.
I get my 20s when the story calls.
Yeah, I liked this session. I feel like everyone got some stuff to do. We had fun. I had fun. We even got some good buddy moments.
I think everybody got a good moment.
You have no idea how fucking happy I am that fucking mule showed back up after.
Yes, and we even talked about it earlier before we even came on. As Scott said, I will love Will if he does that.
I love it.
My only real complaint. My only complaint is that I had a moment alone with Lelia and didn't really get to interact with her that much. First, I stole the scene by knowing the snake person, and then she stole the scene by calling out Ayara.
Well, to be fair, AR called out Lelia first.
To be fair, it was hilarious.
Turns out it was fair play, even though Lelia didn't technically.
It won't be the last time that you guys get to interact, though, so we can always make up for that.
I liked my interaction with Howard. We got to play tic-tac-toe.
Yeah, I was curious to see what Talia had in mind by hiding, but
I will say this session did not get derailed very much. Other than avoiding some optional combat and
what were all the other dinosaur fights you had?
there was one where you would have landed on a Triceratops's nest of eggs.
Oh.
Some of them I mixed together, like
I was half expecting you to have the T-Rex.
Ayara and Tig went through 3 at once. First, they scared off the Deinonychuses with a successful intimidate. Then they scared off the fucking Jersey Devils. Then they went those were 2 separate encounters originally. Then they had the Spinosaurus in the riverbank, which they then tossed down.
I was rolling. I have no idea how I was rolling so high this week.
Hey, Ayara just has a way of connecting with gigantic, really powerful reptiles.
Talia, no matter what Talia rolled, was always going to land with the snake. Because that was something I really wanted for this session, was for Talia to have, to show some of her connection with some of the island's wild residents. Like, this was a very, there's sort of there's a couple of core conflicts to Conquered Worm, and one of them is nature versus civilization. And this is a very let's explore the nature side of that session. So, it was really important for me that Talia, since Talia is probably the most connected to the natural world of all of you, that Talia got to have something that showed her prominence in that regard. So that was specifically planned.
And plus, this whole place was foreshadowed in Talia's dream.
Also, we finally explained where I keep getting all these dinosaurs.
Yep.
Even though we almost never run into them on the surface.
Also, so by the way, I remember when he talked about the Capra Orosuke from a while ago. Like we said that the cat was way too OP for our group at that level. Turns out it's one of the things I can transform into.
And we also maybe partially explained where that one guy in Stoker gets all of his weird animal stock.
I thought we already explained it with his book that he had.
Yeah.
That was partial.
Hell, this whole hall might be because of his damn book.
The other thing is that there are Jersey Devils that steal mules and deposit them in an area with Deinonychuses. And
then make donkeys.
Maybe theoretically take the Deinonychuses and deposit them where they found the mules.
They also probably I'm just saying don't be surprised. Still though, I'm still saying don't be surprised if Ares Mule has draw like one of the Jersey Devils comes back with draw keys.
And maybe that's why the stable hand is confused about what species are what species, and he just assumed his mule's transmutated.
This is what mules look like when they get older.
Again, I'm saying this before I'll say it again. I will not be surprised if like also somebody's come back wake up one morning and there's just a basket full of dronkies.
One thing I was regretting with I wanted to have the moment with my raptor, like asking her whether or not she wants to stay in the hollow or come back.
That would have been nice. And her response would have been,
one thing I wanted to do was like if the Intimidate didn't work with the Dionychuses, I was planning on I'm mimicking the same hiss that freaked out the out Ares raptors.
This is a good time. I enjoy
And
it.
we know what the final threat is now.
Yep.
I'm pretty sure we're near the final threat going in. We're gonna fight a concrete worm.
But now that's more than just 2 words, though. Hopefully, now you kind of have a sense of the scale of what that threat is. Like, it's not just a big monster.
So it's basically the Silver Surfer to Remina's Galactus, or the Hellstar's Galactus.
Yeah.
Oh god, and I just had a horrible thought.
Or it's like Zool.
Yeah, that's what I thought too.
It really is. I almost actually said it's the Keymaster and Ramina is the Gatekeeper. But that would be even less accurate than the key and the lock.
I like the key and the lock as it has more of a cosmic horror tinge to it because the Yarxus is gate.
Also, it would imply the monsters are going to make love when they meet.
Yeah. The conquering worm will be awoken. If it is not slain within the right amount of time, Ramina will reach the planet and destroy us all. Sorry, the Hellstar will reach the planet and destroy us all. There are 2 towns that will elaborate more on that.
I wonder which one of those is.
I just had a horrifying thought.
One of them is very obviously Ramina, and as the 2-parter showed, like there's a literal mechanism behind this.
I just had a really horrible thought. What if in Shelley we meet the Monster Factory guys and their monsters?
That would be silly.
It's totally what we're gonna see, isn't it?
I cannot do a good impersonation of Griffin McElroy or Justin McElroy, so no, it is not.
I'm not, dude. I know, no, you, and quite frankly, I would not put it past you.
Okay.
I'm not gonna try to predict Shelley.
Yeah, I don't know what that'll be.
I'm just saying it's a possibility. That's all.
Well,
because considering TT's thoughts on the book, we might get something that's not what we.
I will say this: if this session was about a nature side of a nature versus civilization conflict, Shelley will probably be the reverse.
Makes sense.
Oh my god, the enemies are
all going to be about process, technology, and the domination of the world through superior intelligence.
So the enemies are Smurfs.
Of course.
Now I'm wondering if the conch worm is going to turn out to be one of your OCs again.
Nope.
It's probably going to be pathogen.
It's going to technically be an OC. I haven't designed it for the session, but unless he lifted it from something else, like being King Ghidorah or something.
I will tell you what the Conquered Worm is, in that it's a great big monster. It's not based on anything that I've used in any story or plan to use in any story. Um, I guess if you wanted a reference for probably what I'm going for story-wise, I would look in the Hellboy arc that is named after the Conqueror Worm, because that's where I'm getting the conquering worm idea, more than anything else.
With the Ogdu Jihad or whatever.
Yeah. In Hellboy, the conquering worm is one of the Ogdru Hem, which are the children of the Ogdru Jihad. And the conquered worm is summoned by the Nazi scientist Hermann von Klempt to basically awaken the other Ogdru Hem and eventually awaken the Ogdru Jihad themselves. The conquered worm is also supposed to destroy all the currently living human beings, turning them into frog people, which it then devours, to grow stronger and eventually summon the beast that will rain fire and destroy the world, and pave the way for a new existence to begin.
Yeah, fun stuff.
I'm not sure if that's that may not be like the design, but that's the basic monster concept. There's a twist though, like the conquering worm is going to be a monster as a conflict, not a monster as a character. But there's a twist to its existence that you haven't found out yet that's very important that I don't want to spoil. There's a bit more to it than just being a beast of the apocalypse, but as far as how you're going to have to deal with it, you will have to kill it. There will be no talking it down.
We have an abundance of monsters as characters, though.
Yes, we do.
You say that, but this is us.
I know.
I
You
think
will
this
not
is.
talk it down.
I think this is DM saying
Or
no.
intimidate it down or anything.
Oh, you will definitely not intimidate it down, no sir. This is a child of a god.
Mm-hmm.
And not just any god, one of the gods that was made to make sure the other gods don't fight anymore.
God of extinction.
Like, I don't expect you to be familiar with the lore that I BS'd for this Pathfinder setting that I use every now and then, because even I am not too dear to it. But if you want to know, like, Devastus is one of the entropic gods, and they were made in response to a war between two of the lesser pantheons. There are 4 pantheons in total, and the gods of Entropic are the last pantheon. They were basically designed by the original gods to basically make the younger gods settle the fuck down, or else they'll rage quit existence. So, an emissary, a child of the Entropic gods, is a big fucking deal.
At least we know it's a child of them now.
So's the Hellstar. So, yeah.
But you can't
Remind me
fight
of
the
this.
Hellstar.
Like, NPCs and opponents we face, do they have feats of their own?
Depends. The ones that I custom brew definitely do. Like, some of the ones, like today we were fighting Lizard Folk champions. Like, that's what their stats were. And while I modified them a little bit on the fly to make some weaker than others, like, technically they were all 10th level Lizard Folk Cavaliers. Or challenge rating 10. I think that would make them like 9th level because Lizard Folks have a -1 level reduction because of being a Lizard Folk. Which is bullshit. But anyways, it's bullshit because the Lizard Folk bonuses do not nearly equal like the level they lose from being a Lizard Folk. It sucks. But yeah, like some monsters have abilities that are essentially the same as a feat. Like you guys didn't fight Tyrantus, which was smart because Tyrantus is ridiculously overpowered. He's basically a Terrasque plus.
He couldn't step on a Tarrasque.
Yeah. but like he's got feats like improved bull rush and iron will and shit. So,
Okay.
Does he have that one scaly feet that?
oh
makes
yeah, he's got scintillating scales. He was designed for the gunslinger. Like that's where his stats originate from. So yeah, he's got scintillating scales. His touch AC is pretty fucking beefy.
So we just met one of the PC killers.
Mm-hmm. He just woke him up.
Curious about if like some of these characters had like basically and stuff.
You cut out there, at least for me.
Oh, I was just curious to see if like some of these NPCs and stuff had like basically boss immunity and stuff hiding there.
I have some of them do.
Also, I remember what you said about Old Man Henderson as in a while ago, like the characters like him kind of overshadow the PCs. I think the kind of the same thing might have been with Godzilla. Now I think about it.
That was definitely why I didn't include Godzilla, and why I chose Tyrannus instead, because I figured Tyrannus, you wouldn't be expecting him because he's so friendly and fun. And also because
we also wouldn't have expected the Spanish Inquisition, to be honest. So,
and also because like if you include
Nobody
Godzilla,
expects the Spanish Inquisition.
yes.
If you include Godzilla, he's gonna become the fucking focus of the campaign. That's what I found out in the original version of The Land Unknown, and why I replaced Godzilla with Tyrannus in the revised version, which was an easy palette swap, stat-wise. But like it's like if I had fucking Dracula. If I had Dracula, that's what the campaign would have to be about. I didn't feel like Tyrannus had quite that effect as a central figure. I didn't think he was quite that big. He may be my main OC, but I didn't think he would be a real scene stealer. I think it'd be more like, hey, it's him.
Tyrannus is built as more of a traditional protagonist, having obvious flaws and not being too of a narrative vacuum.
The other thing is that if it was Godzilla, there's no way you're gonna fucking talk Godzilla down when he goes up into the surface and sees everything that humanity fucked up.
Yeah.
Yeah, Godzilla would be probably like a new god, like a god of kaiju or some shit.
Mm-hmm.
Born from the fucking corpse of Gandonog or some shit.
like a giant chest burster. Like the corpse just explodes.
No, like literally
Godzilla standing among the
bomb.
ashes.
Well, like a nuclear bomb. Reforming
again.
the essence and.
Born in the heart of a nuclear blast. Kazam.
Good to know, just too, for future reference, that OCs are fair game for like popping up as characters.
Mm-hmm.
It's been the case for a long time.
Madcap is a character in this canon.
Mm-hmm.
I wonder if we'll run into Pathfinder.
What?
What was that?
You cut out.
I wonder if we'll run into Pathfinder
Learn?
Pathfinder.
We did.
No,
Really?
Wilhelmina Murray, not Lerna.
Oh.
Yeah, Wilhelmina Murray was based after the character of Dracula rather than Dr. Lerna. I would say I probably wouldn't include Lerna in this campaign because right now I'm really discovering new things about her character while writing the novel. So she's growing a lot in my head right now. So I wouldn't be settled on including her yet because she's not like. It's weird because I've had Lerna around for a while and I thought I figured out how that character works pretty well, but like I'm learning new things about her, so she's taking new forms in my head right now. So I'm not really comfortable with using her just quite yet in the Pathfinder thing.
Yeah, that's what I'm discovering with writing long-ass stories with my current OCs. Like, they're developing in ways I didn't initially plan.
And the other thing is that Lerna is so heavily tied to like a sci-fi approach to things, I don't think she'd translate very well into a fantasy setting.
Well, there is a bard archetype called archaeologist.
Well, yeah, and there's alchemists and wizards technically have sort of a nerdy figuring out the universe thing, but like, I feel like Lurna needs her lab coat, and Lurna needs like pseudoscience. Like, she needs to be in a setting where people drive cars and know what DNA is.
Simple. Make her a flump.
Oh, that's another thing we didn't get to. Oh, but I shouldn't say it. Never mind.
Aw, there was something we could have seen.
Yeah. I'm glad I finally got to reveal the cut song.
Oh
from
my
Top
god,
Gun.
there was a curio shop in that town, wasn't there?
Actually, no.
Oh.
Doesn't count
It's
as a
not
town.
It's not a town. It's not a town. It does not count as account for your town quota.
Wait.
I mean,
Hold on.
when you were like, are there any hidden towns? I was like, yes, and I guess this does technically count as one of the hidden towns. But it's not a town in the put it on the map sense, and it's not a town in the Gotchmore is going to talk to you here sense, or Shidison is going to try to catch you here sense either.
Do you first spell that one? She laid a trap and we avoided it and gave her basically a middle finger.
Yeah. So when I had to change I Want to Be Like You and choose a different song, I deliberated for a bit. I almost went with Blue Oyster Cult's Godzilla, but it felt just a little bit too ominous and out of character. I wanted something a little bit peppier for Tyrantus, because Tyrantus is really a peppy character.
There
it
is
works
actually a
perfectly.
song that could fit. I can't remember. It was from this film I saw a while ago called Godzilla and Other Movie Monsters. The Monstersaurus Rex is what he is. That's what he does. He's a killer, baby. Gojira! I cannot remember the title for the life of me.
Yeah, there was another
Baby.
But
documentary.
that's like a smooth rap tune. Tyrantus needs something peppy. You know, something
In the depths
peppy
of
and
the
happy
ocean,
and fun.
in the depths of the ocean, 100 meters tall, grand star chicken bill starting to fall.
Also, you will never get me to rap. I cannot rap. I am white as shit. That's not going to happen.
Up from the depths, 50 stories high, breeze, fire, head in the sky, Godzilla.
Yeah,
Godzilla.
that's the rap from the YouTube guy Shireborn. But
Yeah.
I thought IKA's or Ika, I don't know how to pronounce their Eurovision name. Go Godzilla Go, Jurassic Lizard Superstar Hero. I thought like that's super peppy and fun. Even
It
when
works
it's talking about
perfectly.
like destruction and chaos. It was totally it was the best Godzilla theme song to retrofit for Tyrantus. Although, man, I am regretful I couldn't have used "I Want to Be White Like You" because I thought my lyrics for that were pretty fucking dope.
They were pretty good.
I agree. I would have loved that.
But we
Are
have
there
future
more musical
songs.
numbers still there? Out there?
I've got a couple that I'm considering. Nothing's pinned down yet though. I don't know. I like the musical thing. I don't know if you guys do, but I'm also selfish, so I don't really care that much.
We'll just need to break into our own.
Another
I would actually like that. I would be honest, if we were all comfortable enough to have an episode that was the musical episode, I would write it in a heartbeat. I would write the fuck out of that session.
I'd be willing to give it a try, as long as I have personal time.
If everyone had their own song that they would practice and rehearse for their character, I would be so fucking into having a musical episode.
And one of the villains is basically the Pathfinder equivalent of the Music Meister.
Either that or the demon that caused everyone to sing in Buffy.
Letty and I are genuinely working on a duet. We're just trying to find a place to put it.
Yep.
Well,
And
no,
yes, it is a remix of Shiny.
The thing about songs, the thing about like plans for the future. If you tell me, I can try to help.
Yep.
We're leaning towards maybe Red Talon. Maybe.
Because that song kind of necessitates a bad guy to be singing too.
Oh
And,
well, you definitely have that coming up for you.
all right then.
There is definitely going to be a confrontation with a person who's pretty pissed at you coming up fairly soon.
It's gonna be Varney X.
No, Varney's dead. I don't want to deal with him ever again.
Is it Lord Felix?
No, you have not unlocked his side quest.
The trick is going to be getting them into a position where we can freely manhandle while singing about how we're going to eat them.
So you want to know how I'm planning Lord Felix?
How?
In the style of the Reaper from Persona, I want to make it like a random chance thing. So each session I roll a d20, and if it ever lands on a 20,
we're fucked.
On that session, not on that session, but the next session, Lord Felix will appear.
You do realize that with our luck, it's going to land on the 20 the first time, right?
Well, I've been doing it for 5 sessions now, so no.
All Howard has to do is convince Lord Felix that he's the real Lord Felix all along.
No, convince
You fucking
Lord
would too.
No, convince Lord Felix that Howard is his son.
Oh my god.
Son, is that you?
You know, in fact, the fact that that's even more impossible is what convinces me that's what's going to happen.
Lord Felix is the bones of Howard's father after death.
No, we've met Howard's father. He's too much of a dick to be Lord Felix.
Oh, so...
Too much of a dick to be a guy with Ellen.
Wow.
Mean to actually accidentally make Snake Mom's name rhyme with Lelia. I just wanted a Leah name for a bit of just a naming scheme, and then I realized too late.
Talia, Melia, Lelia.
And your best friend, Halia. And
That
Dahlia.
poor pterodactyl, though.
Poor Heara. Okay, I'm gonna go take a pee and a shower, so see you guys next time on Dragon Ball Z. Also, Letty, your birthday is the 30th, correct?
31st.
The 31st. Excellent, thank you. Alright, goodbye, gang.
Night.
See ya.
Bastard turned for money, eh?
Oh.
Yep.
Sounds fitting.